Welcome to Djuma Game Reserve, everyone. Welcome to South Africa and welcome to our PM safari this afternoon. My name is Mark and we're ready to head out for the next 3 hours and try and find you some of the have living around us here in this part of the Greater Kruger National Park known as the Sabi Sand Game Reserve. And within the Sabi Sand Game Reserve we have an area known as Djuma, and we're going to be between myself and Brent is on the other vehicle with Andrew. I have Brian with me on this vehicle. Alec is in final control. And, well, we're going to try and entertain you for the rest of the afternoon. Our afternoon here in Africa. It's 4 o'clock Central African time. I know some of you are up late in the eastern part of the planet, and some of you it's early morning still in the western part of the planet. Excuse me a moment, I've got to pick up something. Something that fell off of the vehicle. Trash. Don't like to see that lying around. Well, interesting cloud formations this afternoon, very different from the last few days. The last few days we've had these sort of big storms centered around the western sector of this part of the world, hanging over the escarpment and moving north. Today it's some somewhat different cloud formations that are out there, a couple of different layers. That does tell me that maybe some rain coming. I hope so. We are heading into new moon, and I've always believed that for the new moon and full moon we have greater chances of weather happening, and that's certainly a possibility in my book. I hope so. Hoedspruit and Eekhoornhoek recently had a bit of rain just the last couple of days, those storms that we saw, and it was very welcome for them. We haven't had the greatest of seasons this last wet season, and we are now fastly approaching the end of the wet season. Fast approaching. Rapidly approaching the end of the wet season. With the dry season upon us, it is phenomenal to see the daily changes, especially in the bush willows. A lot of the yellow that we're seeing right now is the changes in color of mostly the bush willows that are starting to change, and that should really only be happening at the end of April, and we're not even really yet at the end of March. We've only just passed the middle of March, so we have an unusual change in season very early this year. I hope that translates into an early spring for those of you in the northern hemisphere. I hope that you're all going to start easing out of the snow and things are going to be getting better for you, warmer for you. Of course, it's never going to get as cold for us in winter as it does for you in the northern hemisphere, wherever you may be. The dry conditions, the slight colder conditions that have occurred have had dramatic changes, or have had dramatic effects rather, that I've noticed. And one of the most dramatic effects is that, and I suppose for some of the arachnophobes out there you might be pleased, but for people like me, I love spiders and things, and I keep note of the population of, specifically the golden orb population every year. They've been hammered. There are very, very few golden orbs left right now. In fact, we're likely to see a lot of empty webs. For some reason the cold has hit the cold temperatures that we've been experiencing in the evenings have affected them dramatically, and that is going to have a knock-on effect for the generations to come, because a lot of the spiders that have been knocked off of their webs from the cold, or have been taken out of their webs by bats or birds or wasps or other spiders or anything that preys on things like golden orb spiders, has increased, because there's been well, there isn't really that much else going around. And I've noticed actually for the first time bats actually feeding on golden orbs. I can't say that I've ever noticed that before. So we're losing golden orbs by the day, and they are not laying eggs yet, because it's not normally the time of year when they lay eggs. They're not big enough to lay eggs, and it's normally only the end of April going into May that they lay their egg cases to provide. Oh, there's a wildebeest. to provide a population for next summer. So I would say that we are in for a population crash of golden orbs, and it will be very interesting to see how that translates in the months or in the year to come. I'm going to stop here. One of the Djuma vehicles coming in from the gate. Let's see who that is and let him come through. Lone wildebeest bull. I'm not too sure he is. He could be the wildebeest bull that was up at Quarantine and Parlour Plains. Now there still are some golden orbs around, and there will be some egg laying, and there will be some of them that will survive, but in terms of numbers, in the last few years that have been very good summer months with very good rainfall. It is a natural phenomenon though. It is something that is crucial to the perpetuation of the species, in having population explosions and population crashes. Unfortunately, our wildebeest ran off, by the way. Sorry, we'll catch up with him maybe down towards the Parlour Plains. I mean, there's a web. Might be able to see some of that silk. Just the main strands that are as strong as cotton, left behind. The entire web is gone. I don't know if you can see that, but the main strands that are left. No spider left. And doubtful whether she was able to lay eggs before she was taken out. A lot of the spiders that I'm seeing, the golden orbs that are left, are a lot smaller than they should be at this time of the year. And of course, size and growth in golden orbs depends extensively, or mostly, on the amount of food that they eat through the summer, and there just has not been that great an insect abundance this season. I'm going to turn in here and have a look. Here's a golden orb that's still quite busy, and she's still hopefully gonna get. Oh, there she goes. Very, very big. And what's interesting here that I can tell you about this particular spider is you can see the size of her abdomen. I'm going to try and find you others this afternoon as well. You can see she's got an exceptionally large abdomen, and that tells me that she's actually mated already. And one of the most remarkable things about spiders is that they can actually store sperm. They don't necessarily have to lay the eggs as they are fertilized. As the male mates, they can actually store that sperm. They can retain that for a while, and only when the time is right and the season is right, then she will lay her eggs, and she will most likely go up to the top of that bush to the left and create in the depth of that bush create an egg case out of various different types of silk, that as the leaves start yellowing, which they're doing now, as they start dropping, the leaves will collapse over that silk mass and conceal it for the next 6 months of the dry season, and maybe in September, or 6 to 7 months, September or around there, they will start hatching, and the young spiderlings stay there for a couple of months. We don't see them in the early summer because they're such tiny little spiders, and it takes them most of the summer to grow to this size. She's quite a large individual. There's that garbage line behind her. It is a line of old prey, the remains of old prey, the remains of debris that has landed in her web that she collects. It helps to conceal her in the web. It makes it harder for things to get to her. She's got an incredible web that's going to make it very difficult for the likes of a bat or a wasp to come and take her out of the web. Truly remarkable creatures, these golden orbs. I'm not even seeing any males on that web actually, but probably, oh, there is a male just above her and another one above that. That tiny little spider there is a little puny male, can be a thousandth of the body weight of the female. Not many left, and that is a means, or it is it's just something that happens in nature, doesn't it? It's not unique. What I'm experiencing now is not unique. I've seen this in years gone by, where there are years that these spiders are prolific, and then there are years when the rainfall and the insect load just doesn't allow them to reach mature, not that many that lay eggs, and the population crashes. And that is the very thing that determines the strength of the genes within the population, because obviously the strongest survive, and those that breed are able to deal with drier and harsher conditions over time. And in a couple of years' time, I think from 2012, from that exceptionally wet year of 2012 with the floods, 2013 that was also very good, the population of golden orbs was extensive. It was one of those booms of the population, and well, now it's crashing. You always hear about, or people talk about the balance of nature. It isn't really a balance. There's no such thing as a balance. There is constant fluctuation. Everything that we see, no matter how long it takes, it could take decades, it could take centuries, but everything has to go through levels of population where the population reaches overpopulated status and then crashes, and then it's got to start all over again. And that is how the gene pool remains pure. That is how the strongest survive. That is how the strongest are the ones that then reproduce to maintain that strength of the gene pool. Very interesting thing. All the different factors that influence a population. Welcome if you're one of our new viewers, and of course it'd be nice to hear from you. And if there are any of you who would like to know a little bit more about the Sabi Sand or where we are in relation to the Kruger Park, I have a couple of maps I can show you. Just let me know. At the moment we're heading west. We're on the access road to the gate, or from the gate to Uyatela. And a little squirrel. Oh, off he goes. Thought I'd just come along and see what life might have crossed this road. There is also a lot of traffic of elephant and things that come from the west to the east. Beautiful pale blue of the European roller sitting on the wire. This afternoon we're going to be looking for flowers and insects and birds and anything we can find.
Not that nice on a wire though.
No, it's not great having it on a wire, especially being a power line. But it is probably one of the last times. They're not going to be here for very much longer. These are the European rollers or Eurasian rollers. They're going to be heading back to Europe. I don't like on a wire, but sometimes when you got the chance to see them, well, that's the best we can see them. another migrant that should be leaving soon. Beautiful little redback shrike. Maybe if I go back a little bit of light, bit of light on it. Last bird, I'm going to tell you what the name is, because I think if I find another nice bird, I'm going to ask you, the viewers, to tell me what it is. And yeah, we're on the main road, so we're going to have traffic. I don't normally drive this road, but I thought just for the afternoon, I thought maybe we'd just come by. And I'm just going to have to let this car go through. This is an access road for many of the lodges within the Sabi Sand. It goes south to many different lodges. All the way from Durban. Okay, well, we'll just have to stick to this road for now, because it'll be a few hundred yards before I can turn off of it. But there's a good chance of maybe seeing an elephant crossing over, or something. Interesting question from Go. Ooh, is that a bushbuck? Might be Orignala. Can't see. Oh, it was a bushbuck. Hello, Gail. Gail's asking that web of the spider, will it hold up in a bad storm? Generally, yes, Gail. If not the actual web, the sort of wheel spoke part of the web, maybe that might get washed out, but the main strands of the web are exceptionally strong. And they generally do hold up. They're very elastic, especially when they become wet. And they can take because you often get the web stretched between two trees, and they can handle the elasticity of those trees moving individually and stretching that web, just the main strand, so that at least the spider has sort of the basis to rebuild. It's quite interesting seeing the day after a big storm how these golden orbs then go about repairing and rebuilding their webs. But nature has to have created a strong enough web, especially for a spider that spins a permanent web. These are not spiders that rebuild their web every day. They rely on that web day in and day out for their sustenance, and they don't, if that web breaks too often and they haven't fed, I'm just seeing a tree, one tree on Djuma that I haven't seen any of here a couple of times. I don't drive here very often, but there's a little tree here. It doesn't have any fruits on it, doesn't have any seed on it. This gorgeous little tree, little lollipop of a tree. It doesn't look like much, but it's known as a shambuk pod. It's known as cassia, not acacia, but cassia abbreviata. And I've got a lot of them up in the Timbavati, but I've been searching for one on Djuma for years now, and well, this is one. And that's about as big as, maybe medium sized. Not much of a tree now. When it's in flower it's beautiful, and obviously it didn't produce any seed this year because the pods would be there. One of the first trees to flower in the springtime. I think there must be a handful of those trees on Djuma because it's one of the southern limits of the tree, maybe. Well, I don't think so. I think it occurs further south. Somehow just aren't that many on Djuma. So I need to find myself. Come this way, come. Past me. I don't want to wait for you. Fare thee well, young lad. I think let's get off of this road. We're going up to Impala Plains. We'll come back to it so that we can go on to Arathusa a little bit later. But let's follow this power line in for now. Because I thought there might not be traffic, but there is. It's the main access road. I guess there's always going to be traffic on it. Still looking for a few birds that I haven't been able to find, for some people that have shown interest in certain birds, although I have to say I had black-collared barbets calling all day around Djuma this morning, well, today. Because I'm still trying to find the black-collared barbets. I'm keeping my ears out for green woodacroos. Oh, sounds like we've got to go to Brent very, very quickly. Brent was tracking a leopard and he found something else. Oh, okay, don't have signal yet. Sorry, Spidey. But Brent might have something. We've just got to get that vehicle powered up and we'll get to him as soon as we can. Not a very hot afternoon, so I'm not expecting things to be hiding anywhere. I think it's cool enough, or it's mild enough. We should be able to find something this afternoon. Hello, James. I wonder if this is the same James I'm thinking of. James is asking if I've noticed a drop in mantis population. Well, in every aspect of the insect world, insect and spider world, James, I think not only the mantises, the spiders, everything, in fact. I think there's it looks like an eagle in a tree. That tall dead knobthorn there, and off he goes. Juvenile Battalier. That's interesting. Afternoon like this, juvenile battalier should be in the air, not sitting in a tree. If it's sitting in a tree, it's looking at something. Okay, let's go to Brent. Let's go to Brent if we can.
Welcome, guys. Andrew and I went out a bit early this afternoon to track, and we found Djuma, but unfortunately as we found him, he's right on our boundary. I'm just hoping he comes. Oh, there's another leopard. We've got two leopards here. I just heard the growling. We've got another leopard growling at him in the grass. I just heard the growling. Do you see the other leopard?
Yeah.
So we've got two leopards here. I'm not sure who it is. I'm just going to move forward a bit so I can try to see who this other leopard in the grass is. It looks like Karula. Yeah, it's his mom. So she's the one that was growling at him. For Mark's information, it's Djuma and Karula. And you can hear the kudu's alarm calling in the background. Oh, isn't this wonderful, guys? I was getting a bit worried, all the trouble we had this morning. I wasn't able to get anywhere that I found fresh tracks, and then we found these fresh male tracks just as we turned onto Cheetah Cutline, and we get a bonus. So Djuma is actually attempting to stalk the kudu that are shouting at him. We're going to lose sight of him, he's quite far, but Karula is lying right next to us here. Stations, there's two ingwe in this position off Cheetah Cutline, probably about 300 meters from Gari Main. Copy, make your way. It's Karula and Djuma. I'm just going to move around. You can hear those kudu. Oh. Oh. Where are you going, Djuma? Come back here. So as we came up through, you can see the kudu looking straight at Djuma. Just going to park here. They might actually run this way, and I don't think they know that Karula is hiding in the grass. You can just see, can you see his tail there? So to the left, there's his tail. Where are you? Where's that termite mound? Okay, I've lost him now. Yeah, he was in there. He was just there. But now the kudu might actually run towards Karula. it's quite possible that Kunyuma is going to come back towards his mom. Oh, that kudu was not even 3-4 meters from him. But most leopards give up when they've been spotted, but not Kunyuma. Station, so exact position is Cheetah Cut Line, very close to Leadwood Junction. Get onto Karula and stay quite wide. FM Rebecca Zoe's was active this morning. 2 Ingwe on Cheetah Cut Line near Leadwood Junction, and that's it so far. I think you can take first standby. Andrew and Ephraim making their way. Keep wide, keep wide. Oh, I was hoping the kudu were just going to run a little bit closer to Karula there. But that is quite a big animal for her to go to coming at that speed. And there was an impala that ran off to the left. A bit of pandemonium. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can spot Kunyuma. He'll probably make his way back towards here. He was right next to that termite mound up ahead of us. That was quite an interesting sighting, a bit of pandemonium. Kudu running everywhere, impala, 2 leopards. There's a male leopard calling now, and I doubt that's Kunyuma. There is a possibility there could be 3 leopards here. I just heard a male leopard calling. Did you hear that? I think there's Kunyuma, Karula, and then I can hear Mukuluma Dodo calling that side. But Kunyuma is near that termite mound, and Karula's here. Go for it. See, he's running towards that call. I think there's three leopards here. Yeah, this is Karula here. So, very strange. I can just see Kunyuma through in the distance there. We've got Karula very close to us, but I heard another male leopard calling, but that sounded like a big male leopard off to the left of where these other 2 are. You can see Karula's immediately picked up her ears when she heard that. Don't go that way, come back this way. Oh, this is very frustrating. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, even though we are quite a distance away. I have lost sight of Kunyuma now. But I'm pretty sure there are 3 leopards here. But unfortunately this is all happening right on our boundary, and we're about as far as we can go. What I'm hoping is that they do come this way. Anyway, I definitely like to start my afternoon with more than 1 leopard in one place. Much easier than looking for one at a time, don't you think, Andrew?
It's wonderful.
Sharp, thanks, Ev. I think there's Tatua, there's Karula, Kunyuma, and then I heard my daughter. The other side, yeah. Quite interestingly is that Kunyuma headed straight towards where that male was calling. It's going to be interesting to see whether Karula decides to go towards the other two or make her way away from them. She's buzzing anyway. Why are they going east? You must come back west. So we're going to keep checking off to the left there, Andrew. You never know whether those other two will come back this way. But it looks like Karula is going to carry on away from them, which could be good for us. Oh, and there's elephant. It's all happening here on Chile Cut Line. A herd of elephants has just walked in to where the other two leopards are. I'm just going to keep still for a second. Might be some big trumpeting and chasing. There we go. Elephant found a leopard. Okay, the other two are not visible to us at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with Karula for now. And so it looks like there are definitely more than there's 3 leopards there. I'm waiting to hear from the other guys who are able to drive into that property to let me know. But this is absolutely fascinating. And Karula's heading straight back towards us. I'm going to try and get ahead of her. I'm just going to zoom up ahead of her. Who's ready for the handbrake turn? Oh, I can hear the elephants chasing the other leopards. Well, I'm very happy that Karula is crossing to the west. That's onto our property, so we can stay with her. Well, we're not sure where those other two are. I just heard on the radio that the elephants have chased them around, and it's making it very difficult for the other guy to try even get close to where they are. The elephant started chasing him. So we'll stick with the queen for now. Go ahead. I'm not sure it's splitting into 2 sightings at the moment. Just stand by a little bit so we can figure out what's going on. Yeah, showing your general direction is south. Still got it, Andrew? Yeah. We're just going to try loop in front of her again, guys. Oh, sorry. I'm coming around. That's nice. Hold on, Andrew. Can you see it? Oh, there she is. So we're very lucky. Out of 3 leopards, at least one chose to go the right direction for us to follow. I would love to have known who that third male was. Probably, most likely it would have been Mvula. Don't you love it when a plan comes together, Andrew? I told you we should leave
Like
early
clockwork.
today.
It all works like clockwork.
I had such stress from this morning about not finding any tracks to follow. And then boom, first set of tracks we find.
You even said I haven't had any luck with tracks for so long.
I know, all the tracks I've been finding are old. Let me see. Okay, you're gonna have to keep a close eye on where she is because I'm probably not gonna be able to see her while going through here. You got her still?
No.
I got it. That's fine. Just gonna try to get around. She's going through that monkey orange thicket, which is not fun to drive through. Oh, there she is. She's chosen one of the nastier blocks we have on the reserve in terms of the lights on, by the way, Andrew. It's going to put us to the test again. Oh, you can still hear the elephants chasing the other leopard in the background. Knowing Kunyuma is probably teasing the elephant. road coming up. Big spider web in my face. Oh. Try to get some of the cobwebs off me while she's... We're just going to let the other vehicle take a turn in front. There was a Makulu Madora. There were 3 there. We're going to be quite careful to keep a very sharp eye on her in this area. They found Mvula in that same place there as well. So there were 3 leopards. I was right. Oh, sorry, Andrew. Andrew, coming. Trying to be sneaky. Didn't quite work. Andrew, coming. Yeah, that is Mvula, Karula, and Kunyuma. Yep. Oh, don't go down there. Oh, why would you do this to me? This is probably one of the worst areas to follow a leopard in the whole of Djuma where she's going now. Alex, you can pass on to Mark. There was Kunyuma, Karula, and Mvula in that position. We didn't get a sighting of Mvula, but the elephant.
It looks like she went into the stalk now.
I can't see.
Yeah, she moved behind the bushes.
Let's go forward. She looks like she's eaten something recently. Oh, it's going to get fun. Drainage lines. It's going to test some driving skills shortly. This is Mafufunyan block. Lots of drainage lines. Wow, guys, what an exciting start to the afternoon drive. I couldn't have asked for a better start. Looks like well done, Mark. Alex, come in. Could you find out what Mark's visual's like? Kruger's lying up now. He's moving into the sighting of quarantine at Vuyatela Dam. Just let him know if he's got a good sighting. We'll swap over because Kruger's lying up, but it's not the best visual at the moment. So I'm just going to try see if we can get a slightly better view of her quickly. A copy, our sighting's become a good one again. Wow, so 3 leopards in one spot. Although we could only see 2, we could hear Mvula in the distance there. Kunyuma ran straight towards that call, which is quite unusual, especially he is getting old enough that his father might start chasing him out of the area. Oh, itchy head. There's nothing better than tracking and finding your own leopards, or lions, or wild dogs, or whatnot. for the thorn at your back. So we're just going to wait here and see where she goes, so we can plan whether, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to cross this drainage line. Up. I got a short wheelbase. So absolutely amazing. We've had 3 or 4 of the quietest drives I've ever had on Djuma, and then this afternoon we've had 4 leopards seen within the first hour of drive. So we found the 3 this side, and then there's another one at Vuyatela Dam. Isn't that incredible? Copy, our crew is still on the move, so I might want to stay with her. Up to you. Watch the thorns under it. Watch the aerial. She's decided to go into some of the worst bush I've seen in a while. I think we might leave Andrew hanging on a thorn tree. What?
Just coming back this way.
Okay guys, hold on Andrew. You're watching the leopard for me, Andrew. I can't see it. I have to concentrate on that. Ah, she's up ahead of us somewhere. There she is. Whoa, Sir Daisies. Oh. There she is in front of us. Alex, just to let you know, Cruz is nearly at our main. She might cross. So what you're doing is just standing by. She's she's come off our eastern boundary. She's now on our southern boundary, but she's still on our side. It'll be interesting to see whether she does cross further south, or she comes back and further north and further west into Djuma. Very good, clean. See, there goes my water bottle lid. Wonder which way she's gonna go. But geez, what a bang up start to the afternoon. I mean, why start your drive with one leopard when you can start it with two? And even a third, even though we didn't see it. Would have been awesome if we could have seen all three together.
That's asking for a bit too much, Ben.
Oh, if you don't ask, you'll never get.
True that.
And we are in the Sabi Sands. Can expect ridiculous things from leopards in this part of the world.
So we saw Kanyuma snarling at her and we didn't realize it at the time.
Because she was in that long grass.
Yeah.
Then I heard a brrr, like deep growl, and it was her growling at Kanyuma. And then behind them, all of a sudden you had Mvula doing a full male call. So, I mean, everything was going on. Oh, don't go across the road. Don't go that way. Keep coming this way. Come this way, not that way. Keep still. Huh?
Looks like she didn't.
I know. So I wish the camera would listen to me as well as the leopards did. Have I broken my earpiece? I went through that thicket. Are you hearing anything?
Over the mic.
Yeah. Okay, I thought I might have broken my earpiece and went through that bush. Look where she's defecating. I got you 5-5. I think it just came loose. Check ties that side, please. Sorry, Alex, go again. Now, what we want to do is to go all the way down to the riverbed. Andrew, this is exactly the same place where we found that leopard dung a few days ago. So it could have even been Karula's dung, even though it was quite old. What has she spotted that we can't see from up here? Hold on, guys, I'm going to try to get ahead of her again. Oh, that's a big hole. Oh dear. Oh. Okay, I think we're going to make too much noise if we try to get out of this hole. She's very close. He's going to scent mark on that weeping wattle. Sup, sup. What's there? Really? That's 5.
a few more to go.
Yeah. There's always more. I think we might have bitten off a little bit more than we can. Let's just go back, I think. Don't look at my Tyler. Is there a chew? What's? I get worried when people look at my tires like that. Oh, a tube. Ah, that's fine. It's Land Rover, it's normal. Oh no, don't go that way.
Why do you want to go that way?
Yeah, I'll find her. Oh dear, guys. Looks like she's gonna go south. Should I move forward a little bit? Okay, we're gonna have to say goodbye to the Queen of Djuma. She's heading out of our traverse area. She's
Doesn't want to go there.
oh, as long as she stays, she might come into the Mawati and change direction. But I don't think so. I think she's going to head south from here now. And she's gone. Oh well, that was a unbelievably great start to the afternoon for Andrew and myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pass you over to Mark, and we can go see what Mark's doing. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that I can find Kunyuma again. So I'm going to go back to that last position where the elephant was chasing around. I know Mvula's quite close there, and Kunyuma. So I'm going to go snoop around that area. I know they haven't managed to find Kunyuma since we saw him, but they did see Mvula. So I think it's worth going back to scratch around that area. So until I see you a little bit later, hopefully with another spotted cat, we're going to hand you back to Mark.
Welcome back to Wendy, everybody. Welcome to this part of Djuma. Nice to have you back with us. We had a fantastic time with Karula, I believe. Very interesting to hear that there are a number of leopard up there, at least 3 leopard from what I hear. Now I know that for a fact Andrew's been with Mvula just across the boundary from Cheetah Cutline where you've been with Karula, just a little bit east of that. He's been with Mvula and an elephant and another leopard, and I don't think anyone's really gotten a positive ID whether it's Kunyuma or another leopard. I'm trying to think of the name. Bahati or something. Let me see if I can find her. Brent's just getting an update. Bahuti. I think there's confusion. There was a young male leopard with Karula earlier, and they're not. It sounds like nobody's really sure who it was, because it sounds like they didn't have much time with him. But interesting to note that Karula and Mvula are in the same sort of general area. They're not very far apart. Karula sounds like she's moved off from that area. There was an elephant. But all that aside, we'll get back to that shortly, because here we have another leopard this afternoon, which makes the fourth leopard this afternoon, and an incredible chance and piece of luck, really. We were out on Sandy Patch, and I heard Mike and Candace mentioning that there was kudu shouting across the dam, across Vuyatela Dam, Djuma Dam, Gowrie Dam, and we were still up on Sandy Patch. And as we got back down towards Djuma Dam, Mike found this leopard on the dam wall. We were lucky enough to keep track of him, or that Mike kept track of him as he left the dam wall, and he settled now in the spillway. This is sort of the overflow of Djuma Dam, if we're lucky enough to get that kind of rain again, that is going to fill up. It's an area where we used to see Mishu and Nduna quite a lot. In fact, Nduna used to love this little rocky area in those days. We often used to find him here, sleeping in a very much similar position. We're down below the dam wall right now, below the spillway. This is where the spillway runs into the drainage line around the dam wall. The spillway is there to relieve pressure from the dam wall if the dam were to fill up after a very heavy rain, and the water runs around the edge of the dam wall, limiting the amount of erosion, and of course limiting the amount of water in the dam and pressure on the dam wall. It creates a very interesting little microhabitat, really, and he's sleeping here now. I'm guessing I know who it is, and we don't really have a great view of him at the moment, but if he lifts his head, I'd be really welcome, or I'd welcome any of suggestions that might come in as to who he might be. Of course, if Kunyuma and Karula and Mvula are up there in the east on Cheetah Cut Line, it doesn't take a genius to try and figure out who this could be. But we're not too sure whether it's Kunyuma. They're talking about another leopard name of Bahati, or name I haven't really heard before. In Swahili there's a word called Bahati, so maybe I'm just bastardizing the name, or Bahati, what? I'll keep my ear on the radio and try and figure that out. Bahati in Swahili actually means luck, but I don't know if any of these leopards would be called with the Swahili name. He's got it. There's a stick hanging down. You can see sort of in the crook of his arm that keeps bugging him. I can't get closer. I can't get into a better position. There's a big knobthorn to our right, and there's some young jackalberries and bush willows just above him to the left. So we've got a little window that we're watching him right now, and beautiful sun coming out. Very different weather from the last few days with those storms that were brewing and developing in the west today. All sorts of different cloud formations that are showing a bit of a change in weather. We are moving into new moon, and well, we'll see how my theory goes as we get into new moon in the next few days to see whether that's going to bring a dramatic change or not. We don't have much time. We've only got a couple of more months before the dry season sets in, March and April, and if we don't get any more rain, it's going to be a very, very harsh dry season. Already noticing very, very many changes, or many different things from the last few wet seasons, especially in the insect world, and I suppose in the sort of the micro world, or macro world, rather than the megafauna. Don't want to put the camera on it. Interesting bug on the dashboard. If I can keep it on the... Oh, don't fly. It's on my thumb now. And it's flown away. Anything while the leopard is sleeping. I hope he's going to get up soon. There was some buffalo at Gowrie Dam. Didn't see much else, but evidently Mike said there was some kudu alarming. He's a little bit small for taking a kudu, but we have noticed a number of kudu cows with very young calves, and those young calves are probably perfect size for an opportunity for a young leopard like this. Negative, go again. Yeah, copied. What's the name of Tandi's son? Bahuti. Oh, so it's not Bahati. Bahati is Swahili. Bahuti must be something else. I don't know what it means. Tandi's son. Shadow's sister. Karula's firstborn daughter, Tandi. Bahuti. Well, I'll be. No. Karula's grandson, not son. Karula's firstborn daughter's son, Bahuti. Tandi was sister to Shadow, who was born in 2006. And if I'm not mistaken, Bahuti, the son of Tandi. Tandi is Karula's daughter, and Bahuti, Karula's grandson, born 2012 did you say? Which makes him just over 2 years old, about the same age as these boys. So their nephew, technically. Gosh, becomes like a soap opera, doesn't it? Thank you, Mike. Okay, sorry, Alex, who was that? Okay, there's so much radio going on this afternoon. Diane in Michigan. Hello, Diane. And now I can't remember what Diane asked. Because I'm still listening to the other radio. I've got it. Oh, is it true? Yes. Okay. Thanks, Diane. Sorry, I've got 3 conversations going in my head at the moment. I've got to keep track of them. Is it true that Sabi Sand has the highest concentration of leopards in Africa? I can't comment even on that, Diane. I know that there is a high concentration of leopards. Can't think of other areas that might be, but then you see there might be areas that have very similar concentrations of leopard, but they don't have the concentrations of vehicles and the consistency of behavior of vehicles. Turn some of this down. Sorry. I'm a man. How can I listen to 3 things at once? But we're able to document this because there are many lodges here in the Sabi Sand. There's social media, and there's just all the modern technology that we have today, and it's the density, or rather the presence of game drive vehicles and everything that allows us to monitor this population of leopards. I think there might be other parts where we might find the same thing happening, but we don't have the lodges and you don't have the behavior, especially more than that, the behavior of the guides to be able to observe leopard in their natural habitat, to be able to observe the guides, the way that they behave here in the Sabi sand. You know, I've lived in many parts of Africa, and in most of the other parts of Africa that I've lived, guys don't know how to behave around leopards, and so they perpetuate the same kind of behavior from them. They chase them, but they don't intentionally chase them. What happens is they see a leopard and they try and race to get closer to the leopard, and that means that they don't ever get to see the leopard. Here in the Sabi sand is different. I mean, the guides here in the Sabi sand have a code of conduct. A lot of the guys and the leopards here learn that all of the vehicles are not here to do them any harm. So it's one of the few places in Africa where the consistency in the behavior of all the vehicles and the guards has allowed the leopards to accept the vehicles in their lives, and that's what allows us to view them, to be able to sit with them at times like this without interfering too much in their lifestyles. I mean, as you can see, the vehicles driving around and he's just fast asleep. He doesn't really care. We've seen this a few times. So I think from that point of view of having the opportunity to view leopards like we do here in the Sabi sand, and the code of conduct of the guides and this consistency in the behavior of the vehicles is what allows us to witness this high density of leopards that I don't think you'll get in many other parts of Africa. But so I can't say that this is the highest density or that there are more leopards here than anywhere else. Certainly it is one of the best places to view leopard. I know that up in the Timbavati it's getting better and better because there are although there are fewer lodges, there are some more lodges opening up, and there are becoming more and more vehicles driving around, and hopefully the behavior up there doesn't chase the leopards, that keeps the leopards, or rather the vehicles become the same kind of entity to the leopards as they do here in the Sabi sands. Can't really tell. I don't know what densities are like anywhere else in Africa. Thank you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey's saying that census shows that the Sabi Sand does have highest concentration of leopards. Can't argue with stats. What I can tell you from my own personal observations and from what I know personally, because I don't know about statistics, I don't know about the counts and the numbers in any other part of Africa. I can't comment on any other counts and any other densities, only the places where I have lived. And even then, because I've lived in places where leopards are not as accustomed to vehicles as they are in the Sabi Sand, there's no way of knowing, because they're such vast areas, so different to the Sabi Sand, there's no way of knowing. But most certainly, in terms of my own experience, and I've lived in the Sabi Sand on numerous occasions throughout my career in the last 3 decades, starting in the mid to late 80s in the southern part of the Sabi Sand, again in the mid 90s in the middle to sort of, actually no, I forget, I started in the sort of northwestern area of the Sabi Sand in the mid 80s, moved down to the southern area of the Sabi Sand in the late 80s. From there I left and went up to Botswana, and then came back to the central part of the Sabi Sand, sort of towards the western boundary, and then left to go to Tanzania. Came back briefly in 2002, and then came back again in this northern area in 2008, 2009. So I've seen a considerable amount of the Sabi Sand, and it's not only that, but I've known people from all over the Sabi Sand, and known, not only experienced my own sightings, but known of other sightings that have been experienced, that there isn't anywhere else where you are likely to see so many leopards in such a short space of time. So I would agree with the fact that there is a high density of leopard here in the Sabi Sand. But they're very secretive cats in places where they're still very, very shy. And there are many, many places where they are either persecuted, or they are hounded, or they are not treated in the same way, that they become very elusive and one doesn't see them. And then how do you measure it when you're in a place where you don't get to see leopard, but you see their dung and their tracks, and you hear their presence every day, but you just never get to see them because they become so shy. And fortunately these days we've got the opportunity to put out camera traps and things in a lot of places. A lot of places that have leopard populations, especially for leopards, are starting to put out camera traps, hoping to identify the number of different leopards that might exist in an area. And it's going to be interesting to see in a few years' time, when if anyone does correlate any of that data, to see the sort of the density per, say, 1,000 hectares. Because I would say in this particular part of the world, a leopard's territory is roughly about 1,000 hectares, maybe a little less because of the density. I know up in Salati Game Reserve it's about 1,000 per hectare. We never see not never, very, very seldom see a leopard. Excuse me. Oh, they're talking about Bahuti, so not necessarily Kuhuma. I mean, sorry, Kunyuma, not Kuhumas. Sounds like buff. A lot of action going on. But evidently Mvula and that other male, there's something there that they're eating. Mvula's eating. And Abel's saying he could be a duiker, could be a steenbok. Makes me feel not so bad about the steenbok that turned into an aardvark the other day. Although that was a mistake of note. But that's just on Torchwood. I think Brent's lost track of Karula. Could be. Oh. We're back east towards Torchwood. Okay, so she went south. So Karula went south into Hoffman, so there are still the other two leopard that are just east of Cheetah Cutline. Was that a Franklin that just flew? That is that wasp over there. Exactly. Sorry, I saw a wasp resting with a strange thing coming out of its abdomen, probably just waste. But I took a photograph of it. Jeffrey in Texas, some national park in Sri Lanka. Thanks Jeffrey, saying that has the largest density of leopard. All I know is that there's some amazing leopard view. Derby sand, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, which is where the greatest density is or who's got the most. There are not many places around that you can get the kind of leopards that we get here in the Sabi Sand. Hello, William. William is asking if I've ever seen an Amur leopard, and I haven't, William. I've seen pictures of an Amur leopard. It first came to my attention many years ago when I heard about a zoo that was going to get some Amur leopards, captive bred, of course. I don't think, William, I don't think there are many people on this planet that have seen an Amur leopard, and I don't think that there are many Amur leopards left on the planet. But I think you could probably count on your hand, on both hands, the number of people that have actually witnessed or filmed Amur leopards in the wild. And no, I'm not one of them. Unfortunately, I've never been to that part of the world. I'm not likely to ever go to that part of the world, sadly, as much as I would love to. Like I'd love to go and see snow leopards, but I'm too scared to go through all the humanity just to get to. We're having a little bit of a signal issue down because we're down below the dam wall, and there are things that are affecting communications at the moment. I know there's been a double solar flare or solar storm this past weekend, and there have been warnings that there are going to be some disruptions because of geomagnetic storms that are hitting the planet. We do have our magnetic field, the Earth's magnetic field, that protects us from it to a large extent, but I think that there might still be some disruption in the days to come. I don't know if that's got anything to do with who needs to make excuses, but at the moment this is our best bet. While he's sleeping, I could move around. I could try and get into the spillway above him to send above.
Hello everyone. Being out in the bush and being out there live has its technical challenges. We're experiencing some of that now and are working on it as fast as possible to get it sorted and get you back on the vehicle with us.
With him sleeping like that, I thought maybe we can head out above. There's the top of the dam wall just above us. Maybe we can make our way out to the top there. I did once get through there, but that's a bit dense. We'll have to go all the way around. We'll see if we can get him from the top and view him from the top. If he's still going to be sleeping. I hope he's going to stay there. I'm guessing that maybe if he wakes up, you see, it's a bit of a guessing game. We've got two choices here. Either he's going to drop down into the drainage line, in which case it will be very difficult to follow him. It's not that important, I suppose, as long as we get to see him. But I'm hoping that maybe he's going to head back up towards the dam when he wakes up. Go and have a drink. So we'll head over to the other side of the dam, see if we can pick him up there, and see what else there is on the way. Blue skies and pretty clouds, and it's going to be a beautiful sunset this evening. Different, not different to what we've had the last few sunsets. Those very dark clouds and rain. Now it should be fine if we stay with us. Flat buffalo. We have flat cats so often, and now they're flat buffalo. A couple of them that are just so relaxed. The strangest thing, coming across the dam wall, knowing that there's a leopard there, and knowing that we can't really see him from the road crossing over the dam, and then it brings to mind how many times we've come across this dam wall, knowing that there's a leopard in the area and not being able to find him. And now I've got this little hint of I know where he is, but it just makes it so much worse that there are times when we come across him, we don't find anything, how many times we think we might have missed something. Hello, old man. Good advert for a chewing gum that keeps its flavour. You just form a buffalo sitting in the water all day, chewing, 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 and the flavour lasts longer and longer. Leopard. See what this little boy is doing, because although I think everybody knows who he is, I don't think anybody's sent any mention of who it is. Or did I say who it is? Do you think? The reflection of the sky. Quite amazing. Sort of see him from here. In fact, I can probably climb over these rocks since this is landy. Climb over some rocks and see if we can't get a better view. This is the spillway. It used to be a lot smoother, but the last heavy rains have actually filled the dam. The dam has filled up, and the overflowing water has washed away a lot of the sand in between the rocks. But when you have this machine climb rocks, sometimes it's getting a bit difficult. Can't go much further than this, but oh, there he was on his back. I can't see your face, young man. Okay, I'm gonna move again. This is also not a good place to sit. If he does want to come back towards the dam, if he does wake up, this is not a great place because it's right here in this hallway if he wants to come. So No, I'm just trying to get into another position. Very little good. And break a few branches just to get a little bit further in and there. How's that look? Oh. On my head. Can't go any more forward, but that should be good. Or I might have to move a little bit. There we go. There's a beautiful view. Okay, I don't think I could go another inch forward, otherwise we'd be in trouble. Just got that bit of Dicrostachys reaching into his face a little bit. Not too bad. Welcome to Djuma, and now that we've got a beautiful view of this young man, anybody wish to guess? Anybody wish to tell me who they think it is? If I haven't said so myself. He's being irritated by the flies, I think, as much as we are, Brian.
Yeah, quite hectic here as well.
Yeah. They tickle so much. They really tickle us on the face. If I could maybe just try and go back an inch, get that branch, this Dicrostachys branch out of his face. There.
Yeah.
No, I have no doubt, but I just wanted to know. Alex is telling me that you're definitely quarantined. There seem to be a few people coming through with that. Somebody made mention of that pound sign, the pound sign. There. Yes, okay, I see that. So he's trying to catch flies as much as we are, or chase, or get rid of. Have I ever seen a king cheetah? That's from Lisa in Washington. No, I haven't, Lisa. I haven't been lucky enough. I don't go to places where there are captive animals. So I know that there are some king cheetah, especially here at Hoedspruit. There's a place, all I can say. Oops, I dropped my beanbag. That's what he looked at. I know that they have cheetah there. I won't go there. I can't go and see animals in captivity, even if they're supposed rehabilitation centers. But I've never been lucky enough to see king cheetah in the wild. We're going to sit with young quarantine male for a little bit. We're going to cross over to Brent and see what Brent is for you. So off you go. Quick link, go, go, go.
Welcome back, folks. Just stand by one. Are you ready? Good, thanks. Just
I'm gonna go pop the Djuma.
did y'all please let me know if they come this way?
I'm only hosting at 7, so I don't try.
Okay. Welcome back, guys. Let's just see if we can get a shot of him there. We just saw a big Eddie bull. There he goes. He's in must. So looks like he's following the tracks of a breeding herd. And off he goes into Buffalo's Hook. What we're going to do now is we're just going to have a quick look down at Buffalo's Hook Dam. Oh, he's pushing a tree. Look at that strength. So our plan from here is we're going to have a quick look down at Buffalo's Hook Dam, and then we're going to make our way back to our eastern boundary, where Mvula is lying up just 50 meters from the boundary. We just can't see him from there, but I'm hoping he will cut and come west a little bit later. But what an exciting afternoon so far. Leopards everywhere. Okay, the Ellie's disappeared, so we're going to cross back to Mark and enjoy.
Well, welcome back to Young Quarantine Male, everyone. He's looking a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm starting to think that he's actually got a full tummy. If we look at him, you can see he's quite round down there at this. And I think he's been eating something close by. No telling what it could have been, of course. But he's clearly had a meal probably up until today. And oops, my hat. And now coming down to Gari Dam, maybe to drink after finishing it. Who knows? Maybe, if we're lucky, he's still eating it. Maybe it's an impala or something that he's got stashed in a tree, and maybe if we're lucky he's going to head back to it. And coming sort of time soon, because it's cooling down considerably. there is a large bank of cloud in the west that is going to be blocking our sunset. There's not going to be that great sunset that I thought there would be this afternoon, but it means it cools down a little bit quicker, and he might get active while it's still a little bit light, so we're able to watch him. So let's see how this is going to play out. Maybe I thought he might go that way. See, now we're going to go all the way around again. Hello, Ellen. Ellen, do flies... Oh, he's just laid down again. That's fine. I can move to try and find that again. He's draped himself over a rock right here. Ellen's saying, do flies have a purpose in nature, or are they just pesky? Ellen, they do have a very, very important function in nature. See, we're going to be able to see him through that little gap in the sickle bush. Maybe have to adjust the angle of the base. But yeah, we have to just live with these little gaps that we can see him through. It's the larva of the adult fly, Ellen. That is such an important creature, because there are flies for every rotting thing on the planet. And I'm just listening to the radio, but I'll switch it off now. Don't need to listen to it anymore. But Ellen, as larvae, what we know as maggots, flies perform an exceptionally huge function in getting rid of dead, decaying flesh of any sort. In fact, there are even flies that get rid of decaying fruit flesh and plant flesh, and I suppose to a large extent that is to stop the spread of fungi and bacteria that can spread as a result of dead and decaying matter. Of course, as adults, the flies that bug us so much, they provide food for 1,001 or more different insects as adults, and reptiles, and, well, they just provide food for so many different things. I mean, it's spiders and insects and reptiles and fish and birds, maybe even small mammals. Everything has a function in nature. There is nothing in nature that nature would have produced that doesn't have some function that is beneficial to the overall well-being of nature itself, of the ecosystem, because everything has a niche, everything has a function. There is nothing in nature that is negative. Only us humans that create negativity, but in nature everything that lives and moves and grows, and everything that is part of a food chain or an ecosystem or I'm losing functions here, but everything is dependent on something, and something is dependent on it, and it forms an integral part of the very health and the very existence of that ecosystem. So the fly is almost as important as the leopard, as is the elephant and the spider and the fork-tailed drongo and the tilapia and the terrapin. I can go on and on and on and on and on, but I think you kind of get the message that while there are things that bug us, if you'll excuse the pun, if it's even a pun, we have to remember that They're there because they perform a function. They're there because there's something dependent on that creature's existence, and that creature depends on the existence of everything else within its ecosystem. And we don't realize how quickly and how easily an ecosystem can collapse by taking one small element out of it. Brent, come in. Okay, Brent, are you copying me? Obviously not. Okay, I'm here on my own. No, just side lighting. Yeah, hopefully Brent will pick me up when he gets a bit closer. That'll be a good idea, because it'd be nice if he could go down below the dam wall, because I'm on the top. Well, we'll see when he gets here, but yeah, that might be an idea. Straighten that one for me, air antenna, just in case that might change things.
That's as straight as it goes.
Brent, come in. I'll wait till I hear him. He'll be closer soon enough. Unfortunately, it sounds like Mvula and... It's okay, I'll wait a while till he's closer. The split in those two sightings, well, Karula sounds like she moved south over Gari Main, heading down into... that would have probably been Chitwa or Hoffman's or Little Gari. Oh. Paradise flycatcher that just arrived. Was it the southern block? I'll see it in a minute. And of course he couldn't get to see Mvula and the other male, who they think is Bahuti, or I need to look up that one. Tundi's son. Sounds like it, with Mvula. And they are just east of Cheetah Cut Line, so Brent can't get to see them. It sounds like they're eating something, or Mvula was eating something and the young male was lying nearby, hoping, I suppose, that he's going to get a scrap. One of those strange situations where a father is allowing his 2-year-old plus something son to sit around. We saw that with Yambilu Yodan and Induna and Mishu in the old days. So Brent is coming this way, and we'll see if he can get to the bottom end of the dam wall, down where I was earlier, just in case this young man decides to move down that way. And there we go, just in case. He has just done so. It's going to take me a long time to get down there. I think he's going to go and lie on the sand. So let's head on to the dam wall, see what we can find from that angle. Oh, that one. One day I'll see if I can drive all the way down that spillway without a camera first. Cameraman. There he is, sitting on that little mound of sand. I think what we'll do is we'll just stop here. We've got the buffalo on our right. For now, just so that when Brent gets here, Brent can wait here and I'll go down to the bottom and we'll try and tag team it a little bit this afternoon, this evening, although I can't see him going anywhere right now, and it might be very nice, but still beautiful shot here. We don't need to get any closer and disturb him. We on the top of the dam wall. He's sitting now almost where we were earlier when we first went down there to look at him. I do, Brent, I do. Yeah, I do, go ahead. Okay, he's now moved down. I'm now on the dam wall. He's just below the dam wall. Come up onto the dam wall behind me. Yeah, or I can, but for now I want, if you can come up and keep an eye on him because you'll be behind me. Yeah, I'm close to the northern side, but you'll see where I am as you start coming onto the dam wall through the spillway. Okay, it's moving again, might come up onto the dam wall actually right now. And he disappeared. Almost. You can see one or two spots amongst all that sedge grass. His tail is telling me, it looks like he's laid down again, eh? Mm. Yeah. He was just sitting on that little sand mound, but he's just dropped behind those sedges, behind the cypress. I'm going to go down there to... he might come up here to drink. And the buffalo are wondering why we're not looking at them and talking about them, and they're saying, well, what about us? The flies were bugging him, so he moved into the grasses, this leopard. Hello, Mr. Buffalo. Good evening. Hello, boys. Hello, old man. So amazing that they just so hot and bothered they just want to lie in the water. They're not really bothered about us driving above them on the dam wall so close. at least 2 or 3 of them flat on their sides, fast asleep, not even chewing the cud. So now, hopefully, I don't think he's going to go down the drainage line, although it depends where he might have a kill, or if he still has a kill, we don't know which, but it might be that he was going to go and have a drink, or he's had a drink and he's going to go back to a kill. Maybe he's got a kill in a tree somewhere, maybe stashed under a tree somewhere. Season's gratings to the gearbox. Easter gratings. Yeah. Right here in front of us. Deep into the grasses. Getting very dark now too because of where he is. Kevin in Boston. Sorry, I'm going to adjust things again, Brian. Kevin is asking how old he is and if I can relate that or read. You see anything now? No. All we can see is his back and his tail, so I don't know if he's eating something or no. There he's got his head back towards. Oh, there we go. There's his back. That's the back of his head now, and that's his back, and his tail goes off to the right. Kevin, he is just over 2 years old. He was born probably late November, early December of 2012. So it's just over 2 years. 2 years, 3 months, 2¼ years old. In human years, sorry, I don't do that human years thing. It doesn't make sense to me. This thing that dogs 7 years to 1 year. I can't relate to that at all. I don't know how old he is. I'd say maybe, so to relate that as to sort of the development of a human and where we would be, it's probably about a mid-teens, call it. He's still a teenager. Not quite adult. He'll be adult at maybe going on 3.5 to 4 years, and then he'll be in his prime at maybe about 5, 6 years. 6 years when he's fully adult, and then by 7, 8 years he's getting to be like Mvula was a couple of years ago, and then 9, 10 years old he's the man. Actually, we don't really need this, do we? It's a bit too white. As long as I got this one. Interesting how he's hiding. Well, no, he's not hiding. I mean, it looked like when he was lying out here on the sand just off to the right, he was being bugged by flies so much that he climbed into the sedge grass. This is a type of sedge that he's lying amongst, known as cyperus. same as Cyprus, but an E in the name, Cyperus. And it's this particular species known as Cyperus distans. And it's kind of reed that the local people, the Shangaan, use to make their bed mats. They weave them into all sorts of mats actually. They cut them when they're wet, they let them dry, and they have these elaborate looms that they build out of wood and using scrap batteries on each thread on the loom. They then weave these beautiful mats, not baskets, mats. And I use a lot of those mats actually in my house. They're nice to use on a beach, or for me, my beach is the dry riverbed of the Nsiri River. And I go picnic down there. No, he's so well hidden at the moment that we can barely see him. I'm hoping he might move again soon. There we go. He's he's cleaning. He might get up any minute. I think those grasses they're going to be tickling him more than the flowers pretty soon. And of course, there's much better air movement out from all those grasses. Must be a bit hot and stuffy in there. So come on boy, come and lie out here on the sand or climb the damn wall or go and drink some water. You thirsty, you thirsty, you thirsty. All I know is he's uncomfortable, he's been eating something. I can't see much from here. Quite powerful there. Here we go. Thanks, Brent. There we go. Perfect backlighting. Sorry, I'm making a noise, sorry.
Fuel spotlight there, good. Gives that nice.
So that fill it up, but that's fine. Paint him with yours. There's something moving behind us. He just looked behind us, something moved. And there's definitely something moving back there. Is that an elephant?
That's what you had.
Something's coming through. Could be buffalo, could be elephant. Something's coming through.
It's a buff.
Oh, it was a buffalo just walking by, not even taking note. Could tell it was something big. He's a little bit interested. We'll just put this on. Sort of a bit of a floodlight. I do like that without it, but it's nice to just pull the light in from time to time. Backlit leopard. Quite unique actually. We don't get this opportunity to do this very often. Just to play with lighting. Brent got some really beautiful shots yesterday using the other vehicle spotlights when those Matimbas were standing up and not shining directly on the line but using the other spotlights and capitalizing on that sort of angled light coming in from a different angle. Always different. It's just it highlights other aspects of the cat. I imagine most of the buffalo that are at the dam are starting to move away now. I'm going to be moving out to graze for the night. There's no need for them to lie in the water anymore. And they'll bulk up so that they can spend tomorrow chewing the cud in the water all day. And what's that little strand of Rhodes grass in his face in front of him? Thank you for moving, QM. I can also just dull that a little bit so it's not so bright. My hand in front of it. That bit better. Gives him a bit of definition, but not so bright. Or bounce it there, even that's better. Now you get to see those whiskers so nicely. Especially the eyebrow whiskers, the ones that help him feel his way through very tight spaces. Protect the eyes.
I just wanted to grab a clip with it off as well.
Another buffalo moving through the bushes to our left. Can't see it though. We're kind of blocked off from where the pathway is that they're moving. See, the buffalo don't have anything to fear from him, although if they had any idea that he was here, they would probably try and chase him away. Ephraim, come in. Ephraim. Okay, Lullapanzi below the dam wall, 5 out of 5 at the moment. What was Alex saying?
Question for you.
Beautiful. There's an attentive cat. He's taking note of these buffalo behind us and to the side of us. I think he's a full belly. Oh, I just had a greeting from Scott. Hello, Scotty. Must be on the road somewhere, I guess. Somewhere out the Cape Town garden route somewhere. Making his way back here. Hello, Scott. Also, a question from North Carolina. I think from Jan or Jean. Is it true that leopards smell like popcorn? And can we smell him from here? No, that's not true, Jean, or not too sure how you pronounce the name. Jean, is it Jean? Their marking, the scent marking, can at times smell like buttered popcorn. Not the leopards. Not the leopard that smells like that. So I can't, to be honest, I can't smell him right now. Oh, here comes a buffalo. Where did I put my light? Everything's so dark here. Just gone down there. So he's perhaps a little nervous. Give me your light, please. I don't know what I've done with, and I'm blinded by them. Yeah. Alright, got it, thanks. Blinded by the light of something came right here. No, it was probably a buff. Could be the buffalo smelling him. So I think he might. You could see even now, sitting the way he's sitting now, you can see he's got a pretty full belly, but when he stood up a minute ago, probably one of the reasons why he doesn't want to move so much, and another reason why he's panting so much. So he has killed something in the last day or two that he's been feeding on. Possible that he's finally left it, but we won't really know unless he gets up and moves. Even then, if he doesn't, not really any way to tell whether he still has something on a kill or whether he's abandoned the remains and he's now moving on. All in all, it's great to have him back here at Djuma, and especially here at Gowrie Dam. See, leopard maintain their territories in various different ways. One of them is by spraying. And if you're ever with us when we're walking, or we're following a walking leopard, when we're behind a leopard as it walks along the road, you'll notice how it brushes against overhanging branches and turns and lifts its tail and sprays scent marking against the leaves. Often it'll jump up and grab the branches, rub its cheek glands on the branches, on the leaves, and then spray. But that is one form of marking. Defecating and scratching in the ground is another. Calling is another. And probably we won't hear him calling, because while he's in a territory, this isn't really his territory. He's still in Mom's territory at the moment. He hasn't carved a niche out for himself yet, which will come in a year or two. He'll have to find himself a little patch of bushveld somewhere that he's not going to get in the way of adult males that are going to fight with him and possibly even cause injury or death. But for the time being, while he's learning how to be an adult leopard, he's still within the safety of his father and his mother's territory. So we won't really be seeing very much in the way of territorial behavior. What he will be doing is maybe he'll be spraying bushes and things merely as a scent marker for information about his whereabouts to his family, more than being a scent marking as a territorial marking. I'm gonna move forward, because now that he's lying down, he's behind the sedges. So I'm gonna move a little bit forward in front of these sedge grasses. What's the view like for Bryn? Oh, stay, little boy. I didn't see that stick in the dark. Lying on the sand. He's actually lying on our tire tracks from earlier when we came down to first view him. Brent, come in. Are you powered up? See if it's a different. Let's see what it's like from a different angle.
Welcome back, guys. I don't know if you can hear all that stomping around me. I got a buffalo walking past me about 2 meters behind me, and then down below the dam wall there's Mark and Quarantine, from what I hear. It has definitely been a leopard-filled afternoon.
I'll see if they can cut their line.
Very lazy leopard. Well, let's have a look if we cut ours, see what happens. Just to check. See if it's a better line. Let's see. No, okay. Put ours back on. Mark, Andrew's just asking if you could cut your light. So, what a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. A was getting a bit worried this afternoon after not being able to traverse very far. Good evening, Sandra from Pennsylvania. Sandra says she knows he's not hunting but doesn't spotlight him like that. Give him away. Well, Sandra, most animals can see quite well in the dark, and he is lying out in the middle of an open patch of sand. So if any other animal was walking past, they would probably see him, and he is not really showing interest in anything at the moment. That's why we occasionally sweep the spotlight around, and it's easy because there's two of us, so the person who's not shining on the leopard just checks around to make sure there's no other animals coming into the area. The only other animals around here at the moment is the buffalo, so he's not going to try hunt them. They might chase him, but at the moment, as you can see, it's not affecting him at all, and we're not really giving us away as a position, as we will always keep checking with these other animals coming around. Which Mark is doing right now. But I can't really see from up here, but it does look like he has fed on something recently. Looks to be a very comfortable cat at the moment though. But what a fantastic afternoon. Just a pity we didn't get to see Mvula. Apparently the other guys, oh, he heard something. I think it says buffalo, yeah, the buffalo behind him. But tomorrow morning, I'm hoping he will cross west. So I'll definitely go check for tracks of Mvula tomorrow morning. Or tracks of lions. We'll see what we feel like first thing in the morning. And it also depends a lot if we hear the lions calling during the night. Gives us a good idea where to start. There's a buffalo coming in behind him. That's what he's looking at and listening to. I'm just going to show you where the buffalo is quickly. It's having a scratch. There's the leopard and that other light there. Oh. There we go. That other light there is the buffalo scratching his head. And just see that bush moving in the top right corner. He's having a seriously good scratch there. Sorting the tree out. Must have a very itchy ear. As you can see, Mvula's a little bit worried about the buffalo. There's another one there. There's two very close to him at the moment, and they're both scratching their heads. Not too perturbed with him. Oh, lazy cat. Okay, guys. Andrew and I are gonna say goodnight. Andrew and I are gonna say goodnight, and we're gonna hand over to Mark for the last few minutes. And so I hope you guys enjoyed a serious leopard afternoon. It was lots and lots of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I always love tracking and finding animals. So for the last few minutes we're going to cross over to Mark, and then hopefully tomorrow morning we can enjoy a bit more luck. So I mean, that's incredible. There were 4 different leopards around on drive this afternoon, and that is just unbelievable. I'm very excited. I can't wait to get out tomorrow morning and start looking for more, and hopefully some lions tomorrow as well. So I hope everyone has a good evening or morning wherever you might be in the world. We're going to stay here and shine the light for Mark, but we will hand you over to Mark for the last few minutes. Good night.
Really wonderful to be able to switch between 2 cameras at a single sighting. I've got a little bit tense there for a moment because the buffalo moving away from the dam wall have come out, and well, they've got a bit of scratching and rubbing to do, a little bit of displacement activity. Generally what happens is they get ticks and they get parasites behind the boss of their horns, and they like to get branches tucked in behind there. It could very well have been that they know that there's a leopard about. They possibly could have smelt him and they're just putting on a show of force. Another buffalo came in close by. But they moved off, and while he was getting quite concerned for a bit, he's realized that there's no threat from them. At this stage of his life, he doesn't really need to go anywhere. He's on a comfortable spot of sand. It's a very warm evening. It's going to be the most comfortable place for him to rest up at night. He's in a quiet spot. He'll be able to hear anything coming anywhere near him, apart from the fact that he's got the dam wall just on one side that's going to block any animals coming that way. But he'll be able to hear anything moving through the bush coming closer to him, so he can pretty much sleep in peace, sleep off of this meal. He's had a meal somewhere, and he doesn't seem to need to go anywhere in particular. I think he's quite content. I'm pretty sure that during the night he'll get up and he'll go and drink at some point. He just has to hop over the dam wall to get some water. The buffalo have moved off. They're going to be far away during the night, so I don't think he needs to worry about them too much. His main trouble is probably going to be maybe hyena coming through, or the odd lion perhaps, but I don't think there are any lion anywhere nearby. But certainly there's hyena activity every night in this area, and whilst they're not likely to trouble him, there's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be a chance that a hyena will try its luck and try and nip at his heels, or if there's more than one, they might pick a fight. But he does have the advantage of having the dam wall, and well, he can always climb a tree close by. But by the looks of things, he's a fat, flat, very full cat, and I hope that we might find him again tomorrow morning. It's time like this that we value the time that we can spend with them, but we are aware of the fact that they do need their own time, and well, we're going to be closing down. There are no game drive vehicles out. There's no one else going to be coming to join him, so for the rest of the night until tomorrow morning, if we find him, he's going to have the peace and quiet of the bushveld. Well, it's one of these wonderful days. I mean, it's been a cat day of note, I think. I'm kind of stumped and speechless myself. It's been a very, very nice day, very nice. I don't know where the last 3 hours have gone. For me, it's been like the space of half an hour. But from myself and Brian here on camera, and of course the Wednesday Ninja, and thanks to Alex back in Final Control for sending through the questions and all the comments that you have sent through to us. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock Central African time, from all of us here at Wild Earth. Love you lots, and see you tomorrow. Bye bye QM. Sleep tight, little boy. Mind that the other cats don't bite.